So you're taking veganism, you're bringing it out and creating more awareness through Honey LABRONX.
Yeah.
So how did you come to that idea? How did you decide to bring those two worlds together? Or did it just kind of make sense? Because I know that you're probably already active in the LGBT community, maybe, yes?
Yeah. I'm also a gay rights activist with a group called Queer Rising, queerrising.org, if you want to find out more about them. Here's how that happened. In New York, we have the Veggie Pride Parade, which, for the record, when I heard about that before going vegetarian, I was like, oh my God, I'm so sure, Veggie Pride Parade. And a year later, lo and behold, here I am marching in it with a megaphone. But by the time the Veggie Pride Parade had come around, I had basically just started doing drag for a couple of months. And in that couple of months, I had managed to appear in drag twice. The Veggie Pride Parade of 2010 marked my third ever appearance in drag. Fourth, if you count this like one night where like I let my friends make me up and we went out to this bar just so I could parade myself in this new sweater dress. But I went to the Veggie Pride Parade and something just told me, go in drag. And it wasn't for any reason about veganism or getting the word out. It was because, oh, there's gonna be a lot of attention on this. There's gonna be a lot of cameras, a lot of film people. So I thought, if I had, like, I took like a plate, like a little foam kind of like, you know, Dixie plate, and I made a little, like in the center, it was like a light blue plate, and in this circle, it says, go vegan, honeylabronx.com. And I thought in every photograph someone takes, my website will be there, it will generate more traffic. I went ahead and made a quick website as fast as I could, and I went to this parade. And I remember Michael Heron met me at the parade, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna go in drag, but that means I'm gonna have to wake up at this time. And he's like, why not just show up as yourself? Which sounds like the right advice. Like, why not just be you? And I'm like, I wanna go as me because I wanna, like, you know, build a public profile. So I show up in drag, and Michael has this megaphone, and he's like, he's not that kind of person. He's not like, look at me, Mr. Extrovert. You know, he's not the kind of person who wants to go out in public and draw tons of attention to himself. However, me, so I get there and he's got this megaphone and he's like, oh my God, they handed me this megaphone and this list of chants. And I'm like, oh, awesome, you should do that. He's like, I really don't want to. And I'm like, no, come on, you're a musician. You'd be great at this. He's like, I really don't want to. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm the only drag queen in a parade that I'm about to mark. I'll take it. And so there was footage of me on YouTube like, your dinner, my friends, led a horrible life. Change it now with fork and knife. Go vegan, woo!
Nice.
And that was the, you know, and because I was in drag at this event, everyone wanted to come up and get a picture with me. Everyone that had a video camera and a microphone was like, so what made you go vegan? And I realized, oh wow, being a drag queen makes people want to talk to me, makes people want to ask me, you know, what I'm about, what I'm here for. And that was the day that was really the day I became an activist. You know, I was an animal rights activist before I can actively say I was a gay rights activist. And it was a really wonderful day. A lot of people were asking me to speak on things, and a lot of people were asking me to, like, you know, to speak to, you know, the masses. And I realized, wow, this gives me a voice, or rather it just elevates my voice. And so that was the day I realized, I'm like, Honey LABRONX is a wonderful vehicle for me to get the word out there about veganism. Because, you know, I mean, I could talk about Himalayan knitting or whatever. I could talk about, you know, automotive care. People don't care. It's a drag queen talking about it. So I'm like, if they're going to stop and pay attention to me, this is what I want to bend their ear about. Right. And people will smile and stand there listening to stuff about veganism because they're like, really? Cool, I'm talking about drag queen, get my picture. And they leave, and then the next time they eat dairy, they're like, oh wow, yeah, she told me a whole lot about this stuff, you know? So it's just a wonderful way to get that seed planted.
That's awesome. Now, you're the only vegan drag queen I know of. Do you know if there are any other ones out there?
My drag mother, Kitten with a Whip,
yes,
is, here's the thing, she went vegan. Kitten with a Whip, he is Caldwell, she, in drag, is Kitten with a Whip. Kitten, K-I-T-T-I-N, with a whip, all one word. Went vegan, and then kind of lapsed back into vegetarianism and really wants to go vegan again. So is sort of on his own path with that. But so, you know, here's the thing. In my heart, I remember when I was vegetarian with intent to go vegan, asking Michael Heron, like, is it okay if I call myself vegan too? And he was like, yeah, whatever you want. Because I wanted to be vegan. And, you know, I will kind of allow that, you know, for someone who's not 100% vegan, but they have no intentions of staying stuck as a vegetarian. They're not justifying vegetarianism. Right. Which I feel like we should have a different word for it than vegetarianism. We should call it like cruelty light, you know, or something, or cruelty plus, I don't know. But so yes, I consider him vegan because in his heart, he's vegan. He has vegan ideals. So yes, Kitten with Whip is the other vegan drag queen. But these are the two that I know of.
Nice, nice. So how did you decide to bring this onto YouTube and start a cooking show? How did that come about?
I'm on YouTube. No, well, when I went vegan, at the time I lived in Sunset Park, Brooklyn. Okay. You've never heard of it. There's one Rhea Perlman movie where she's coaching like a high school basketball team. You know, Rhea Perlman, basketball coach in Sunset Park. And I was very used to living in a 24-hour neighborhood. I used to live in Astoria where everything in my neighborhood was open till 4 a.m. You wanted pizza, you wanted Chinese food, you wanted to go to a Greek restaurant and get a frappe. Everything was open. Frappes, I should make that on my next episode. Oh, they're so good. And everything was open till 4 a.m. So in Sunset Park, I'm very used to like midnight. What do I want? I want to eat. It's 3:30 in the morning. I want to order some takeout. Well, in Sunset Park, after 10 p.m., for a vegan, there's nothing. And for most people, there's nothing. There's very little that actually delivers at that time. So and we had a really lovely kitchen. And so basically after 10 at night, if I was hungry, and I'm always hungry after 10 at night, I basically had to go in the kitchen and be like, what do I have? Like, all right, well, what can I make? And I'm just not about to buy something if I know I can make it myself. And it's more a cost-effective thing. Like, why pay like $5 or $7 for a little bit of seitan when I can make buckets of seitan for just a little bit of money? And more than anything, I was just curious. Like, I'm also an aromatherapist. I love essential oils. I was YouTubing the other day how to make essential oils. You YouTube anything with the words how to, someone's out there on YouTube showing you how to do it. Yep. So if there's anything you can do, my first thought is always, how can I do this myself? And I went to YouTube and I looked up how to make seitan. And there was no shortage of videos of people showing me how to make seitan. And some people had the right information, some people had really good production values, and some people were really personally engaging and had great personalities, but rarely did I find that all in one place. And often I had to watch 3 different videos and then put those together to get like the right method or like to get it just right. And I remember I wanted to, like, once I figured out how to do it right, I wanted to put out like the right YouTube video. But I just realized, you know, from the start, my idea was to do a drag queen vegan cooking show because people are going to want to watch that, you know, a drag queen anything. You know, I could have, you know, a drag queen knitting show and people will be like, I want to learn how to knit. So, you know, I just, you know, there was no shortage on YouTube of videos showing us how to do things. Actually, depending on what you're making, like tempeh, I can't find a lot of videos on how to make tempeh. And the ones that I can find, it's kind of limited. So I just I don't care what you're good at out there, whatever you're good at, show us how to do it on YouTube. Like, I like the idea that once upon a time before there was the internet, you had to get in your car and go to the library or look things up. And knowledge today, I mean, it's just so tangible. It's there, you know? Any one of us can teach each other how to do things. And I mean, I'm sure college will always be necessary, but I always say some people went to like UCLA. I went to YouTube and I just type in what I want to know how to make and there's people out there showing us how to make it. So that's sort of just my idea is that I wanted to have my own channel on YouTube showing people how they can do stuff.
Nice. And so you have a couple episodes up now.
Yes.
And you're getting some good hits, I've noticed. Yeah, a lot of traffic to your videos. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit now. I know that you're doing a Kickstarter project to help raise funds so that you can keep the YouTube videos going.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that and what your goal is for Kickstarter.
Oh my God. There we go. I'm done. I'm feeling the fantasy, as Kitten with the Whip would say. Kickstarter, yeah. I'm not on Kickstarter yet. But seeing Kickstarter, you can't help but just be inspired. Like, oh my God, it's not even just the money. It's like the love, I would imagine, that you feel from doing a Kickstarter. It's such a great way to get the interest from people, get the exposure, to get, people's attention on what you're doing. And also, of course, to get the money to fund it, because to do this show, we filmed yesterday some new episodes, and I thank God, my friend Cheyenne Picardo, who's like this videography film master. I mean, she just showed up, she had the equipment. She probably brought like, $12,000 of equipment over. Just like, we're just gonna do this. I don't have that equipment, and I feel if I had that kind of equipment or comparable equipment, I would be able to self-produce much better. I am a photographer. I have friends who would love to help me out, but I can't really just sit around and wait until people volunteer their services or equipment. So I want to raise money so that, I came out of pocket to buy ingredients and stuff for the show. So, just getting the ingredients I'm going to need for each episode, doing the research in between episodes. I'm a supporter of Colleen Patrick-Goudreau's podcast. I pledge $25 a month. And I used to wonder, like, what does one's money go towards when they're supporting a project like this? But now I'm realizing, like, I come out of my pocket quite a bit for this, and that really slows down how much I'm able to do. But, if I had a Kickstarter page to keep this show going, it would allow me, in between episodes, to get into the kitchen really frequently and try things out and cook things. It would allow me to really read up on the matter, and also really more than anything, is really just to get the equipment so that I'm capable of producing a show. And also just to get the word out there, it would be really exciting. If you look right now on Kickstarter for vegan, there's not a ton of stuff out there. You'll find your thing, you'll find a few other projects, but it's not like overwhelming. So I really feel like this would be a great time, because anyone who's looking for vegan is going to find my show. Right.
Cool. Ben, thank you so much for chatting with us. I know you're probably super busy, so I'm glad that you were able to take a few minutes out of your day.
Always happy to.
And don't forget to check out honeylabronx.com.
Or vegandragqueen.com.
Yes, Vegan Drag Queen. And, I didn't know that. And also, you have some videos on YouTube now. Yeah. I assume it's under Honey LaBronx.
Honey LaBronx. Yep. I'm all over the YouTube.
Cool. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.
I feel like gaydar, there's got to be a term for like Vadar. I don't know.
Veganadar. Vegan-ator. Vegan-ator. Anyway.
You know what? Before we get too into this is my swan dress. Hey, girl. I'm a huge fan of Björk. Björk, whose name rhymes with work, not fork. If you are familiar with RuPaul's Drag Race Season 2, right now I feel like Jessica Wilde with her absolute acai berry cocktails. Like, this drink is so good. Let me tell you about this drink. I gotta tell you about this Lula's cashew ice cream right now. I'm sort of in Jessica Wilde heaven right now. Oh, God. Björk, if you're watching, talk fit it. And I recommend if you go to Sacred Chow at 227 Sullivan Street between Bleecker and West 3rd, you take a to-go menu with you and you cross things off after you have them. It's the kind of place where you want to work your way through the entire menu. You want to try everything. And here I am sitting in New York City in a public garden with nail polish and a swan dress. The things you don't even think about when you live in New York City. You're just like, yeah, I am not the strangest thing anyone has seen all day.